we'll be looking at a clone question from Henry Park Primary, P6 Prelim paper in 2020, question number 15 of paper 2. This question wants you to find the sum of angle A, B, C, D, E, and F. And this type of question is very common in the exams and is a must-know concept for angles. Our CM students should take note of this question because it will be appearing in our Angles Must Know revision worksheet subsequently. Now, let's take a look at how to solve this question here. This question here does not require you to find each individual angle A, B, C, D, E, and F, but rather they just want you to find the sum of these 6 angles. So for easy reference, let's name the angles over here G, H, and J. Now when we look at these 3 sets of angles over here, there's 1, 2, and 3. You would realize that they actually lie on a straight line. All 3 of them lie on a straight line. So each set of angle will actually make up 180 degrees. So if we want to find the sum of all 3 sets of angles, we can use 180 to multiply by 3, and that gives us 540 degrees. And 540 degrees is in fact the sum of angles A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and J. Okay, now note that the question just wants you to find the sum of A, B, C, D, E, and F. So that will mean that we don't want these 3 angles over here. So what we can do is we can find the sum of these 3 angles over here and then take it away from, subtract it from 540 degrees. So how do we find the sum of these 3 angles G, H, and J? Now if we focus on this triangle over here, you would actually realize that G, H, and J form a triangle, and that gives us a sum of 180 degrees. So angle G, angle H, and angle J actually forms 180 degrees since it's a triangle. Now once we know the sum of these 3 angles is actually 180 degrees, we can use 540 to take away the 180 degrees, and that gives us the 360 degrees, which is the sum of angle A, B, C, D, E, and F. So the answer for part A will be 360 degrees. Okay, now let's look at B part 1. The question wants us to find angle C. And we can start by finding the sum of these 3 angles ABC over here. Now we know that angle ABC together with angle 35 and 33 actually forms a straight line. So we can solve for angles A, B, and C by using 180 to minus 35 degrees and minus 33 degrees. And that gives us 112 degrees. So let's indicate the 112 inside our diagram. Now next, by using our angle strategies, if Zoe add cubed, we will be able to identify this letter C over here. Now we know that the sum of angles inside the alphabet C makes up 180 degrees, which means to say this angle and this angle over here makes a sum of 180 degrees. So to solve for angle QST, we can actually use 180 minus 112 degrees, which is 68 degrees. So let's indicate the 68 degrees inside over here. Now, we know that this triangle QTS is an isosceles triangle because there are 2 equal sides. So this angle over here is also 68 degrees. Now since we know this very important information here, we can actually solve for angle C now by using 180 degrees to minus 68 degrees multiplied by 2. And that gives us an answer of 44 degrees. So 44 degrees is the value of angle C over here. Now let's look at B part 2. For the first statement, we need to determine if the 3 angles are equivalent to each other. Now let's continue from where we stopped just now. We can solve for this angle here, QTU. Angle QTU can be found by using 180 to minus away the 68 degrees since it forms a straight line. And so this is 112 degrees. So this is 112 degrees. Now note that this Triangle QTU is also another isosceles triangle because it has two equal sides. So we can solve for this angle B and D by using 180 to minus 112 and then dividing them by 2 to get 34 degrees. So angle B is 34 and angle D is also 34 degrees. And next, you should be able to see this alphabet Z over here. And you know that for the letter Z, this angle A here is equivalent to the 34 degrees. So A is also 34 degrees. Now that we have solved for the value of A, B, and C, you will be able to know that these three angles are not equivalent to each other. So it's false for the first statement. Now for the second statement, we need to determine if PQTV is a trapezium or not. Now you need to know that for a trapezium, it has one pair of parallel lines, which is this line and this line over here. So we can use our angle alphabets that involve parallel lines like our C, U, and Z to prove that. Okay, so let's try to use our alphabet C first. So if you use the C over here, now just to recap, if you want to use the alphabet C, we need to, we'll know that this angle and this angle here needs to add up to give us 180. But you realize that we are not able to solve for this angle over here because we have insufficient information to do so. So we can use the letter C. So let's try to use the letter U over here. And same thing for the letter U, the angle inside will also add up to give us 180 degrees. So this angle and this 112 is supposed to add up to give us 180 degrees. But again, we are faced with the same problem. We do not have enough information to find out what this angle here is. So we can't use the letter U to prove that. And for the very last one, we can try the letter Z, which is this part over here. And yes, the same problem remains. We don't have enough information to solve for this angle and this angle in orange that I'm shading to prove that they are equivalent to each other. So since we don't have enough information to solve for those angles, it is not possible to tell. And now for the last statement, the question wants you to determine if this angle PWQ and PVR, if they are equivalent to each other. Now, we know that these two lines here are parallel to each other because it was given to be so. And if you use the correct alphabet, the inverted F, you will be able to prove that two angles are equivalent to each other. So this statement here is true. Now, I always suggest my students to write down information that are given or the information that you have found inside the diagram so that it helps you to visualize better. So I hope that after listening to this explanation, it helps you to understand how to solve this question. And so now you can go on and click on the link in our description box below to download the actual question and try out this question.